Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in San Jose all week, speaking with some of the best and brightest companies in Silicon Valley. On our program, Eugene Lee, CEO of Socialtext. Eugene, welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
It's our pleasure. Let's start at the top. Your company is in the social space. Why don't you give us some more details?
So we're in the Enterprise 2.0 or Enterprise Social Software category. We were the first Enterprise 2.0 company as the first Enterprise Wiki vendor. But since really the end of '08, we've been offering a more complete integrated social software platform. Our mid-sized customers use us primarily as a social intranet, either to add social to their existing intranet or to actually put social in front of their intranet. And our larger customers use us for general purpose collaboration and using some new technologies that we have called Socialtext Connect, which enables them to make their existing enterprise applications, database-based applications, social.
How long have you been providing wikis to businesses?
Well, the first wikis came out long before. I've been at the company since the end of 2007, so I think the first wikis came out like in '03 or '04. But we've been doing the full enterprise social software platform since the end of '08.
Wow, okay. So you've probably seen a lot of competition in the last few years, and I'm curious how you compare yourselves to something like SharePoint or Yammer or Cisco Quad.
Well, one of the reasons why there's so many offerings in this category is because social has become such a big deal.
Right.
Partly through the behavior changes that affects each of us as individuals through Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter and things like that. And what a lot of corporations are looking for is how do I take those behavior patterns but apply them to my employees to make them more productive, more effectively share knowledge across silos, et cetera. So I think there's a lot of different approaches to trying to solve that problem or take advantage of that opportunity. SharePoint, the majority of my large customers are SharePoint shops. But what they tell us is, we love SharePoint for document management, for content management, for, in some cases, lightweight portal building, but it doesn't feel very social. And I've heard many CIOs tell me, my IT guys like SharePoint, my users hate it, as a user model for anything other than document management. Yammer has primarily their hallmark has been microblogging, but I think the biggest issue that we see with corporations is their business model, which is freemium, where they give all the functionality to the users for free, but if IT needs to or wants to do anything to control or manage, whether there's an offensive posting or an employee who leaves or backup and restore necessities for say, discovery purposes, then they have to suddenly pay $5 a user a month for every user that was invited in for free. So I like to describe Yammer as it's a brilliant business model, but it's a business model that VCs and end users love, but that IT doesn't. Our offering is a complete, integrated, but modular social software platform that's delivered in a purely SaaS business model, so it's all subscription-based. But we have probably the most unique and flexible deployment options around in our industry, ranging from completely shared hosted public cloud implementations all the way to on-premise SaaS appliance, either physical or virtual, running on VMware. And we have customers of all sizes, ranging from 5 people to 50,000 employees.
Does there need to be, and is there real-time voice and video integration into your platform?
We have, we started with instant messaging integration, so we have integration with all the popular instant messaging platforms with presence indicators and so on. We have the ability to integrate with VoIP. We're not a VoIP provider, obviously. And video is very popular, primarily as a library and archiving feature for video communications. But we're seeing increasing requests for more real-time video, but not necessarily video conferencing.
Really? Okay. It just seems that there seems to be some kind of intersection coming very soon between social and unified communications, and so it'll be interesting in the next 5 years.
No, I think that there's 2 orthogonal vectors that are intersecting that I think.
Without a doubt.
One is real-time and asynchronous, synchronous and asynchronous.
Sure.
So yes, we see a lot of opportunity to intersect, whether you call it unified communications or whether you call it voice or whatever you want to call it.
Not today, but it's coming.
It is coming, and we're seeing a lot of opportunities with customers and with potential partners around intersecting those 2 things. The other is user-generated content from a social angle versus from a more traditional content or document angle. That's obviously been around for much longer. We have a connector to SharePoint where we can surface SharePoint events into the social stream. So I think a lot of the initial intersection has been around sort of what type of content we're talking about.
So it makes sense for companies to be exploring social if they really haven't to this point. They should be at least looking at it. And so the question is, why should they consider your company versus some of the others? So why don't you tell the viewers what are the reasons, bullet points, on why they should go to your website and download and start a trial?
Well, I think the rate at which people who haven't yet played with social are now investigating it has really accelerated. But I still think one of the things that either they verbalize or don't around what might be keeping them from more aggressively pursuing it is they're worried about adoption. They're worried about, like, if I buy this, if I deploy it, will anybody actually use it? Because if nobody uses it, then there's no benefit.
Right.
There are even organizations called the Enterprise 2.0 Adoption Council and things like that, where practitioners called community managers get together monthly and trade best practices and worst practices about how to drive adoption. I'm very proud of the fact that I don't have a single Socialtext customer in one of those adoption councils. I describe them as group therapy for people who bought too much stuff. And I think there's 3 reasons why. And my customers have extremely high and fast adoption rates. In the last 4 months, we've seen several of our customers go from 0 to 85% adoption in the 4-month time frame, which is, now there are no benchmarks publicly, but I believe is like world class. I think it's really for 3 reasons. One is we make our software easy to use. 2 is before we actually close a transaction and actually sign on the dotted line, we work collaboratively and consultatively with our customers around identifying, targeting, and then planning the initial use cases. It's not just sort of throw out the software and hope that it becomes viral. And thirdly, we stick with our customers during the implementation. A lot of the reasons why financially that makes sense for us is because we're all SaaS. So if you don't renew, I don't make money, and
right.
Adoption is really critical for that. So I'd say, I think hands down what we're probably most distinguished about is the reasons why our adoption takes off.
Very good. Thank you for being here today.
It's great to be here. Thank you.